So in the previous exercises, we went through and linked some CAD files. Level 1, the north elevation, levels 2, 3 and the roof. In this exercise, we want to be able to link in subsequent elevations and put them in the correct place. And to do that, the first thing we'll do is create some building grids. Open Level 1 plan. Here we can see building grids, but these are the grids that are laid out in the DWG. From the Architecture tab, click on Grid. We could draw the grids just by clicking on one endpoint and then the next, but seeing as the lines already exist, let's use the Pick Lines option. Select Grid 1. Here you can see that Grid 1 has been created. We can follow this through with subsequent grids. 4, 5, I'll miss out 5.1, go to 6, then come back to 5.1. As 5.1 has been labelled 7, let's change this and we'll call this 5.1. I'm now going to create the vertical grids. Back to the Architecture tab, click on Grid, Pick Lines and select the first grid. Now this one wants to be Grid A, but it's been labelled 5.2. So we'll change this, call this Grid A, go back to the Architecture tab, click on Grid, Pick Lines again, and select the subsequent grid lines. E, F, miss F.1, and then come back and rename. With the building grids created, we're now ready to move the elevation that we placed earlier and import the other elevations. It's not vitally important where this goes, it's just to give us an idea of what the building looks like. From the Modify tab, click on Align. Select the front face of the building and then select the linked DWG. To position it correctly, we'll go to the north elevation. In the north elevation we can see the drawing file and the grids that we've just created. So once again we can use the Align tool and align using the grid and then the DWG. We can now do this for the other elevations. Open the east elevation, go to the Insert tab, Link CAD, go to the Chapter 5 DWGs folder, select the east elevation, make sure the colours are set to black and white, uncheck the correct lines, and we'll go for centre to centre. Click on Open. This message, if displayed, means that the linked file is not visible. But that's just in this one view. If we take a look at Level 1, we should be able to see that drawing file. And the reason it's not visible in the east elevation is that the drawing shown here is behind the elevation line. Select the elevation and the views, click on Move, and move the elevation. If we go back to the east elevation, we should now be able to see it in the view. Repeat this for the west and south elevations. As you're going, tidy up things like the grids and levels. Once completed, we can view the entire model almost as a wireframe model, and this can then be used for subsequent analysis or project documentation, as many architects still define their contractual documentation as their 2D issue set, which could be slightly different from the model.